Greetings. This video is addressed to those who wish to attain clarity and possibly a deeper understanding of the issues latent in the turmoil that afflicted the Ernakulam Ankamali Diocese of the Syro-Malabar Church. The fact that a convulsion lasted over a period of time and many people participated in it zealously does not mean that the issues underlying this struggle are clear to everyone. In case there are a few people, or in case there is even one person who would wish to cultivate greater clarity about the underlying issues, to such people or to such an individual, this video is addressed. Let me begin with a little bit of historical insight. Historically, the Roman Catholic Church came up in the wake of the disintegration of the Holy Roman Empire, and it discharged or took upon itself a tremendous historical responsibility of filling the vacuum created by the decline of the Holy Roman Empire. And therefore, it's only natural that the Roman Catholic Church is structured along the lines of the Holy Roman Empire in its administrative framework. Now, therefore, a particular aspect of the Holy Roman Empire needs to be mentioned or marked here. How did Rome administer its far-flung domains, territories, principalities? For example, we all know that at the time of the birth of Jesus Christ, Palestine was under Roman domination. Pontius Pilate represented the authority of Rome. And Palestine was a very small place within the large Holy Roman Empire, which embraced 3 continents. Now, how did this vast empire, which by force annexed different peoples, different nations, and created this huge amalgam of peoples, cultures, and contexts, how did it maintain itself? It's very interesting to study this particular phenomenon. An important aspect of this administrative cohesion was the fact that Caesar in Rome did not directly control all these provinces. He did not particularly administer these far-flung provinces. He appointed his representatives with various titles. So, the various representatives of Caesar who are charged with the duty to govern these various far-flung areas, they ruled on behalf of the Roman authority. They did not represent the people. This is something that Catholics must understand, in particular members of the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church must understand. According to the structure of the Holy Roman Empire, the various rulers or sub-rulers appointed by Rome to rule these far-flung areas on behalf of Rome did not represent the people. They represented the emperor to the people. They imposed the authority of the emperor on the people. It was a one-way traffic. It was not a two-way process. It was never dialogic. This is so very important to understand if you want to understand the structure of the Roman Catholic Church and how it functions. And it is important to know, it is relevant to know this because it is directly relevant to the issue that was convulsing the diocese in question, the Ernakulam Ankavali diocese. The bishops, the archbishops, the cardinals, etc., occupy exactly the same position, that the various rulers appointed by Rome to govern various provinces. That's typically what it is. That's the reason, for example, that all assets of the Roman Catholic Church, including landed properties, ultimately belong through these bishops, archbishops, etc., to Rome. Now, how this idea can be sustained in a sovereign democratic republic like India is a question that has not been put to the test. Sooner or later, this will come up, and at that time, you will understand the significance of what I am saying. So, when George Alan Cherry or Andrew Starrett looked at their responsibility, their position within the hierarchy, their authority, they understood it precisely in the way that Pontius Pilate would have understood his position. Pontius Pilate was by no stretch of imagination a representative of the Jews over which he exercised Roman authority. He represented the Roman authority to the people. So the question that has come up in this confrontation, which has spanned a few months, more than a year, a couple of years actually, the question that looms large in this confrontation is whether or not this particular administrative structure is valid anymore, is sustainable anymore. No one, of course, asks the question whether this particular administrative structure is spiritually tenable. Because the Roman Catholic Church, as I said in one of the previous videos, is not an ecclesiastical entity in the true sense of the term. It's a system. It's a system that governs according to its own administrative structures and its own legal system that's called the canonical laws. The church is not run according to the biblical principles and ideals or the teachings of Jesus Christ. It is run entirely according to canonical laws. And in fact, the canonical laws themselves played a supremely important role in the evolution of secular law in Europe. That's a subject in itself. But for the time being, it suffices for our purpose to realize the church is an entity, a system, which is governed by a set of rules called canonical laws. And therefore, the idea of seeking God's will in order to handle the affairs of the church or to resolve disputes, issues, etc., is simply out of the question as far as the Catholic Church is concerned. The same is true of all churches, though they hypocritically make the claim that they are guided by the Holy Spirit in dealing with this issue or resolving that issue. That's completely untrue. People do things according to their convenience and they use or misuse the system of law. Every church has its own constitution, and the constitution is a prescriptive set of rules and regulations. However, so the issue that now needs to be taken up is this, and I hope the new officers of the church just appointed the other day in place of George Alan Cherry and Andrew Starrett, who have demitted office. I hope they will apply their minds to this particular problem as to what should be the role of a bishop, an archbishop, a cardinal. Should he be merely the representative of Rome to the people of the believers in Kerala? Or should they be, according to the metaphor that they use, as shepherds of the people? There is a huge lie hidden behind the claim of a Roman Catholic bishop that he is the shepherd of the people. He is not. He is a ruler of the people, ruling them or exercising authority over them on behalf of Rome. That's very clear, because in this instance also the ultimate decision was taken in Rome. Rome alone has the authority to act on this issue. The people in Kerala, the believers in Kerala, have no authority in this matter. They can only wait for Rome to open its eyes and to take a decision. All right. Now, my humble submission is this entire administrative structure of the Roman Catholic Church is imperialistic. It is not biblical. It is certainly not spiritual. It has nothing to do with the teachings and the spiritual vision of Jesus Christ. And all the issues that come up, that have come up in recent times and will continue to come up from time to time in the life of the church, stem from this particular issue, that it is an institution that is not what it claims to be. It claims to be a church as the body of Jesus Christ, church as the bride of Jesus Christ, but it is by no stretch of imagination what it claims to be. It's anything other than the bride of Jesus Christ. It's a brutal, very efficient administrative structure that maintains and perpetuates the authority of Rome over the religious life of a people in India, in Kerala, who also are under the auspices, under the aegis of the Indian Constitution. Therefore, there is a head-on collision actually, which has not been addressed or deciphered as yet. There is a conflict between being subjected to the canonical laws and being under the protection of the Indian Constitution. This issue will come up big time, and that right soon. So I don't believe that the Ernakulam Angamali Divya Bali or the mass controversy has come to an end. It's only a temporary truce. Issues will continue to emerge, and it will do the church leadership some good to be clear about this particular issue which needs to be sorted out. It's a begging question as of now. It needs to be sorted out as to what the role of the bishop or archbishop, whoever, in the episcopal capacity is or should be. I sincerely believe that the present model of episcopal functioning merely as a one-way representative of the authority of Rome over the people or believers in Kerala is both untenable and direct and is in line for a direct conflict with the Constitution of India. I have no doubt about this. But as yet, because of the outlook of the officers of the Indian judicial system, they have so far taken the view that in religious matters the courts will not intervene because it's not something that's within the domain of the expertise and jurisdiction of the secular court, and religious issues therefore must be settled in religious courts. But when it begins to touch upon the fundamental rights of believers as citizens of India, I believe that the courts can no longer continue to adopt the same attitude. They'll have to adjudicate on the relative balance of, shall we say, convenience or balance of authority, balance of justice, whichever way you like to look at it, in relation to the constitutional protection that a believer as the citizen of India is entitled to enjoy, and the obligations that canonical laws impose on the very same individual. A believer is at once a Catholic and a citizen of India, a Protestant and a citizen of India. It cannot be that you renounce your rights as citizens of India simply because you belong to a particular church. It's simply unthinkable, but unfortunately that is the reality as of now. You can certainly say, and that would be absolutely right, that this applies only to religious matter. That doesn't apply to civil and criminal matters, certainly. But even in religious matters, where fundamental rights are involved, and they are getting increasingly involved, as in many instances in recent times, it will no longer be possible for the secular court to wash its hands off like Pontius Pilate and say, well, I have nothing to do with it, it's a religious matter, so I look the other way. Anyway, issues are going to come up for examination, for closer scrutiny from now onwards, and nothing less than clarity and honesty in addressing the underlying issues will help us. And therefore, I thought I would flag this particular issue, and I'll be very happy to receive feedbacks in the response column, and I'll be quite willing to offer further explanations or further reactions from my side if it's found to be necessary. I wish to thank you for your kind attention, and I most sincerely wish the Ernakulam Ankamali Diocese of the Syro-Malabar Church God's peace, as well as amity and true fellowship among the members of the church. Thank you.